Welcome to the Opinionated Geek Sorry. Welcome to the Opinionated Geek podcast. I'm your host, Jonathan Hanna. Sorry about last week. Just been too busy. I haven't even been really streaming any games lately. I have a new responsibility on my hands, and that is, it's not like something you would say it's professional, but it is being a DM for Dungeons and Dragons for my local gaming group, and it's something that's new to me. Uh, Even with my second time DMing, I was surprised at how much you learn just from the first time of DMing. But then it came to like a whole nother level where I was like, okay, I have I had I think like 5 encounters prepared, and I thought that would be good enough. I'm sure in later levels it will be good enough because you got more stuff to deal with. Like the players do more attacks, they got more options, so the turns take a little bit longer. But I guess in the early levels you just got to make sure you watch out for that type of stuff. But I had 5 encounters prepared, and actually we stopped early, but we still didn't get to finish my whole encounter of I wouldn't say it was an encounter, it was a bunch of encounters with the last thing of the night, but it was a miniature dungeon. So they had to go up a tower, and basically they only have like I think one more level to go. There's a total of 2 more levels, but I'm pretty sure on the top level there's nothing there. So besides treasure. So yeah, it was interesting because also I had to have a new player at the table now as well. I'm pretty sure because it was originally supposed to be the one guy's daughter. She decided to do the whole I'm going to hang out with my friends for the weekend, so that never happened. But he brought his other daughter, and I'll need to clarify, but I'm pretty sure he said she's going to start coming to our group because apparently her group, the DM, according to her, tries to kill the players. And my job, I feel, is to make the story entertaining but fun and something that they can all enjoy and not so much kill them, even though I am doing Tomb of Annihilation, and that's kind of like the whole concept of this campaign adventure thing. But I'm going to try to do my best to not kill them. I've knocked a couple of them unconscious so far, but no deaths yet, so that's good. But I'm definitely a little worried because if she comes along, I probably will definitely want to kill off a couple players, and I'm saying that because we were underrepresented. So basically, there was only three players, and then of course me, the DM. And I felt like with this game, I wasn't sure. So basically, what I did was I went ahead and told everybody to make 2 characters each. And looking at it now, with all the stuff that I've seen, 3 would have been okay. Because so far I've had to ramp up the stuff to make it more difficult. Because for whatever reason, I thought in the standard definition, it's D&D's 5 players is roughly a group, and so far from all the pre-made encounter stuff uh, that they have in the actual adventure book, it actually has been. I imagine 3 people would have been completely fine, but we'll see. Because I'm kind of excited. They're halfway through level 2, and then they're going to be probably 3rd level by the end of. I'm hoping before the end of the next session, because what's going to happen is is if the daughter's going to come and bring her own character, uh, that means there's going to be 7 characters. So right off the bat, at once they get to the next level of this thing, there is actually surprisingly, coincidentally, a whole bunch of cages. So you got a whole bunch of people, caged in. Of course, the adventure says nobody's in the cages except for one person. So, and that is a hook to send the players to another location, and in turn gives them another hook to send them on this. Uh, I hope it's going to be a cool dungeon. But what I'll do is I'll have her character in another cage, so it kind of works out. It's funny because I've actually both times when the other daughter was supposed to come the first time, uh, I was like, well, this is great because I'm doing a pre-made 30-day companion thing that you can get on Dungeon Masters Guild that actually has everything 30 days of stuff pre-made for you. So for a beginner DM, it's kind of cool because it gives you stuff, it gives you descriptions and stuff. So you get to kind of learn a little bit as you go. But in that specific session, I had a person that was tied up by goblins, and basically, because it's a jungle, they put honey all over it, honey all over the person, and so basically, animals and stuff will come and you know probably lick the honey off first, and then start eating the body while they're still alive. So I was like, well, this is perfect. I'll just put the character that the one daughter's making there, and then it kind of works itself out. And ironically, I was like, oh crap, she's not coming. So the other one played uh, the father's other character. So it was kind of interesting and fun because he doesn't have to worry about playing 2 characters. He only has to worry about one, and that's one thing I definitely want to get on track. I want people to play one character because I feel like it's very hard to role play if the characters do want to role play, if they're constantly having to A, switch voices, and B, just remember their personalities and stuff. Uh, I've already attempted to do 2 characters, and I was like, I can't role play. There's too much going on with the different characters. Now, he was smart, though. His other character was a monk, and he did one of the character traits where basically he doesn't talk. He does like some grunting and mumbling or whatever, but he doesn't talk. So he did a smart move. I should have done that because and actually I did one of my characters was a druid. I should have made him not talk because I feel druids are nature, and they're going to be out socializing with animals and not so much human beings, so they won't be very talkative to begin with. So I wish I would have went that route. Uh, so yeah, the when the daughter comes with her new character, I'll be able to put her in right away and have no issues. So that's kind of cool. But the person that is the other person that's in the cage, though, uh, he is I forget how you pronounce it, but it's a bird type man, and he eventually tells them to go to his city, and it's one of those cities because he can fly that's on the side of a mountain, and there, the book says that because they're birds and stuff, they don't really care about it, but they do have a way of getting up to the city on foot. But because they're birds and they don't get a lot of people coming there, basically all the stuff is rotted away. And of course, everything going up it, you're just going to have to do athletics and all that type of stuff, checks when you go up it. And again, my goal is to get these people through the game as much as possible. Give them a challenge, but also get them to the end of the game. So I'm definitely not going to have it. I was going to do a couple things. I was like, and again, this is the being a new DM trying to figure out what you can do when reality is you can do whatever the heck you want. But of course, I'm just like, well, the book says, and that's where I need to get out of that mentality. But I was originally going to have it. Well, basically, the book says you can the the people of the town can see them as long as it's not raining and stuff. So I was going to have them come down and ask them what the heck they're doing there and all that stuff as they are approaching the town. So I was like, that sounds like a good deal. So that way they don't have to do rolls or anything like that. They'll basically pick them up and take them to the town type of thing and escort them. So I thought that was a good idea. But then I was just like, hey, dummy, how about you just, you know, have it so they just go up with the stairs and ladders and stuff that they already have in place. I just don't tell them that the book says that it's rotting away and you need to make checks. They can just freaking climb up the ladders. So that's probably what I'm going to do, even though the idea of the guards coming out and down to them could create a little bit more drama and stuff. So I might do that, but yeah, there's going to be a lot of role playing up the town anyway. So uh, we'll see. And then of course the leader of that town basically sends them out to a garden where they he actually offers them to do a ritual to make them fly. Now, I need to look more into what this flying thing is. Is like, can they fly like once per day type of thing? Or is it one of those things where it's like, this is only good for one time thing? But essentially, this is supposed to help at the end game, I guess. I need to read more into it. But essentially, they need to go to a garden to get a specific seed. I think it's a seed, if I remember correctly. Uh, but of course, it's not a friendly garden, and then at the end of the garden, you have to deal with a Medusa. Now, that's the only thing I'm really nervous about. With 7 characters, it shouldn't be that big of a deal, but I need to figure it out with the CR rating and all that stuff. But I at least have to have it at level 3, because otherwise it might be a deadly encounter if they don't get to level 3 by the end of that garden situation. But anyway, that's just me. I will have another story in the news section of D&D, which I'm sure most people have heard it, but I'm still going to say it because again, I missed like I missed a week for the podcast, and yeah, I need to get back on my game, but a lot of stuff is going on, and we might talk about that maybe next week, but we'll see. I started playing Street Fighter V again. I know a lot of people don't like Street Fighter V. They're like, just play Street Fighter 4 or whatever. And I guess I get that. I was a little nervous because they added loot boxes and that type of stuff in there. But so far, it's not too bad. It's not in the way. I don't feel like I'm actually I don't feel like I need to actually purchase anything unless I want to purchase it type of thing. It's not like, Overwatch where they really tempt you or some of the other ones. But overall, it's not too bad as what I thought it was going to be. But last week was I think it was last week. It was Evo. So basically they had the big fighting tournament, and which I didn't put that in the actual thing, so I'll have to put it in now after I start talking about Street Fighter 5. But with Street Fighter 5, they announced that the new character that they're going to be bringing out, which was G. We already kind of knew that. I'm not sure how I feel about this character. He seems kind of cool, but I just don't like the whole Abe Lincoln, yet he's an alien type of thing, and he's supposedly, the president of the world or universe or whatever. But he's pretty nifty. But then they announced him. They had the voice actor come out dressed as the character, and he did like a little stupid speech. And then they did the reveal trailer of the character, because he's been kind of to me he's been kind of a mystery the all along, because he's a new character and nobody knew anything about him. So they brought him out, and I think everybody seemed to, besides the fact that he kind of looks like Abe Lincoln, everybody took to him kind of well. But they actually did something really surprising, because Capcom's these last 2 years now, it's been a very a set thing that they do. It's like, okay, we do this, then we do this, then we do this, then we do this, and that's the end of the year, and then they rinse and repeat. But they actually announced Sagat as well. And of course, Sagat was the character that everybody wanted, or at least that's the way it seemed. And I don't get the hype around Sagat. To me, he's just like a more taller. He seems kind of slower, at least when like walking and stuff, than a Ryu or a Ken. But he's got a special foot. I think it's called Hurricane. No, I forget what they called his. Maybe it was a tiger kick or something like that. He's got that, so it's basically like the spin kick with Ryu and Ken. And then they have his Tiger Fireball, which is basically nothing more than a Hadouken. And then, of course, they got the Tiger Punch, which is nothing more than a Shoryuken. So, I mean, obviously there's going to be differences. In fact, granted, I haven't played Street Fighter in so long, since Street Fighter 2, that I was actually surprised when they actually made Ryu and Ken. They actually feel different. Compared to like Street Fighter 2, where I'm like, these are the same characters. They just wasted, a character slot creating the same character, just looks different. So it's nice that they do like little tweaks like that. So every one of them is a little different. It's just whether you vibe with that character or not. I really would like to find a different character than Juri, just because she is kind of low tier, as they say. I think anybody can make a character work for them, and it's just the question is, can you make your specific character that you want to play work for you? I don't know. But Juri is a more technical character, just because her moves need to be powered up. So in order to do her move, you have to do her move once. And then she's got, low, medium, high. And you got to do that move once for each one of those to power it up. And then to actually execute it, you got to do the move again. So essentially, you're always having to look at, do I have that one charged? Do I have, the mid charged? Do I have the high charged? You always have to have those charged if you want to actually really do some major damage. And that's kind of the more difficult thing. It's not like, and I mean, for the most part, I feel like they're not super powerful to begin with. So it's not like Ryu, where he can just like pull off a fireball whenever he wants. So kind of sucks. But what I like about her is she is quick, and yeah, that's really the mainly reason why I like her. She's very quick. She's got one of the fastest reverse walks, and then of course when you actually dash back, she really dashes back. Where you got other characters where I'm like, I think they moved 5 inches when you dash them back, and I'm like, I like quick characters. I wish I could actually be good at like the grapplers. Grapplers are one of those types of characters where you have to be a very, very, very patient person, because they move so slow, and you got to take hits after hits after hits after hits. But it's one of those things where once you actually can get a hold of those people, your opponents, they're pretty much are very quick to get knocked out if you know what you're doing with the character. And it's, to me, it's one of those things where I don't like that. I like to be doing something, and that might be the amateur in me as far as a fighting game person. But I always like to be able to move and quickly move and stuff. I respect anybody that can play the the let's wait and wait and wait and wait and go back and forward, back and forward, back and forward, just trying to get a hole in. Where I think Jury is a more offensive character where she's just trying to beat you down as quickly as she possibly can before, she gets hit, because she seems to be a fairly uh, quick character to go. She's got low health points compared to some of the other characters. Uh, but yeah, so they actually introduced Sagat, and ironically, not only did they introduce him, but they basically said, "Hey, you can get both these characters tomorrow." So they announced two of the characters, and they brought them out at both at the same time. So that was actually pretty impressive. I thought. I mean, when you look at the grand scheme of thing, it shouldn't take that long at all. Uh, it shouldn't take a whole year to bring out 5 characters. You just bring out 5 of them once a month. But the curious thing is like, I'm trying to figure out what they're going to do in the meantime, because it used to be one of those things where it's like around November you would get that last DLC character. Now they don't have any DLC characters left, so I'm kind of curious about what they're going to be doing to spice up the thing. Uh, but yeah, overall, I'm tempted to like really get back into it again. Uh, the one guy that who was, I felt he was definitely better than me, but was he a lot better than me? I don't necessarily think so, but he could kick my butt if he wanted to. Uh, he actually got a hold of me again and said if I was actually interested in still playing, that he's always usually on. Now, granted, he actually just got was it Monster Hunter World for PC, so he's been playing that. So I'm not sure how often he's going to be on, but basically he wants said if you want to get back into it, you know he'll let me fight him. Which now I think he's like platinum, and he's sunk like 600 hours into Street Fighter 5. It's probably like up to 700 now actually. Meanwhile, I got like 71. But to be honest with you, when you're talking about matches that only last, you know, 2 minutes, maybe, if you're lucky, I'd say going 70 hours is pretty impressive. But, if you're a fanatic about it and you actually want to get good and be like almost on a professional tournament level, yeah, you're going to have to dump in the 600, 700 hours. But you know what? Out of all the fighting games, and all the fighting games that I've done over the years, I've actually done this one probably the longest, and I've actually taken it a little bit more seriously. So hopefully we can go, in increments and actually get better and better. So if they do bring out, like, say, a Street Fighter 6, I'll continue to get better and better and better as I continue to play fighting games. It's just, for the most part, I haven't played fighting games since, Street Fighter 2. So I'm just just like getting back into it type of thing. Not that I was really into it. It was more like hey, this is a game, and I didn't know there was frame data and all that stuff. I'm a little bit more self-aware with that. But anyway, that's what I've been playing. I need to get back to also playing what you call it, Banner Saga. Also, speaking of fighting games, I don't know why they did it. I think it's stupid. I think it's pointless. It's almost like they're just like throwing stuff at the wall and hopefully something sticks. First, they brought out like Noctis from Final Fantasy 15, but now the guys over at Tekken, which again, from my experience of Tekken 7, I thought it was a decent game. I'm not a huge fan of Tekken. I didn't grow up with it type of thing. But they're bringing Negan from Walking Dead. Why? I don't know. But they are bringing Negan from The Walking Dead over to that, you know, that game. Yeah, so there's that. All right. Let's do that, then do that, and then transition. All right. So the next thing is we're going to go on the news. I find this hilarious. So, PUBG has been suffering, or for those that the people that don't know, I don't know how you don't know, but for those that might not know, PUBG stands for Player Unknown's Battlegrounds. It came out and it blew everything away type of thing. It actually beat like Dota and League of Legends, all that stuff. For consecutive players on like Twitch and stuff. So it was like one of the most popular games. And it did have the potential to have staying power. I feel anyway. But it's almost like this Player Unknown guy picked like the worst development team to ever make this game. There's been sorry. Yeah. Got a little thing in the back of my throat. Yeah. He like picks like one of the worst like development teams you could ever get, I guess. But they made this game. Some say there was even asset flips. If you don't know what an asset flip is basically they buy a whole bunch of stuff on an asset store, like from the Unreal Engine store, like trees and buildings and all that stuff, so they don't have to actually make their own unique stuff. Now, I can't confirm this or not, but some people have said that they have, it is like an asset flip type game. So basically, nothing's really unique about it as far as like the look. But, it is what it is. So basically, they didn't even have the, if true, they didn't even have the team power to actually make that. So then they finally bring it out on early access. And I feel like they completely rushed it, which they did. Most people are on early access at least for like 2 years. And that's probably being generous. But, a good development team, I feel, that is like continuously putting out updates and stuff, they're probably going to be on the early access thing for like 2 years, and then they finally bring out the game, and it's probably fairly well, operates fairly well, kind of like Subnautica. But these guys pushed it out, I think, within a year. And it definitely wasn't done. It was poorly optimized. And then when they do updates, they don't fix anything. I will admit that they optimized it a little bit at the actual release, and a little bit after release. But other than that, they haven't really done like a whole lot of fixing of some of the issues that they have with the game. It's always been about, oh, we finally did this or we finally did that, and it's like adding stuff to the game. But the problem is like you haven't fixed the stuff that's wrong with the game. You've only been bringing out stuff, and you've been bringing out stuff slowly. Like one of the updates is like, ooh, you get a new gun. And I'm like, really? One gun? You guys haven't put out like an actual real update in a while, and you're going to give us a gun? That's what you've been doing with your whole time? And then all along comes Fortnite. Everybody laughed at it, like, it's a kid for game. It's a game for kids, and it has that aesthetic look. It's actually got, to me, it's got like a World of Warcraft look to it. It's It's got a little bit of a charm, but it does have a cartoony look to it. And of course, because it wasn't a battle royale game originally, it felt kind of tacked on. You know, you could build stuff in it, and it's like, oh, but we're just going to make it a battle royale. Well, lo and behold, that is the most popular game by a long shot. Uh, most of these games are getting like 80, 80,000 if they're lucky, consecutive players, and then Fortnite's getting 200 and some thousand players. So anyway, PUBG's been slowly falling down the totem pole because everybody's just jumped on Fortnite, despite the fact that everybody kind of made fun of it when it first came out. So PUBG has done bits and stuff here to try to improve on it, and I guess it's gotten so bad that they've literally are announcing a website dedicated to fixing PUBG. In fact, it's I think fixpubg.com or something like that. Let's see what it is. It's right here. Yeah, fix.pubg.com. So, yeah. So my thought is, it's like, why do you need this website? Why, just fix it. You don't need to tell people what your roadmap is, or if you're actually going to have like a separate team to fix the game. It's like, you don't need all that. All you need to do is continue to fix the game, like every other game. Every other game doesn't have a special website. It's like, just so you know, this is what we're fixing. It's like, no, you find out what they have fixed with the release notes. This this company's really weird. Because was it Bluehole? Yeah. So it's Bluehole. It's like they were the ones making PUBG, and during the hype, they came out with I forget what they called it. I think it was just like PUBG Corporation or something, like PUBG something. But basically, they made their own development separate from Bluehole, and it's like, they got the wagon before the horse type of thing, and the hype died down, and it's like, you guys did all that stuff and you pumped so much money into it, and then you still can't fix the game. That's a huge problem, and I'm not sure if that's making a PUBG a separate thing from Bluehole, if that actually costs extra money, but I imagine it does. So you just basically blew a whole bunch of money just to do that when you didn't need to, because the stuff would have died down, and it did die down. So yeah, but hopefully they do. It does have a potential. I do tend to like it a little bit better, mainly probably because I suck at building stuff and trying to shoot people, and I just like the gun mechanics better than Fortnite. But overall, Fortnite's more fun. But I feel like PUBG's more of a challenge, and it scares the crap out of me. If somebody's shooting me at Fortnite, it doesn't bother me. But when you are trying your hardest to like sneak up on somebody, or you're just like searching around a town, and all of a sudden, like right behind you, you hear a gunshot, you jump out of your chair. Unless you're somebody that like plays it regularly. I don't play it regularly, so I can't get used to the gunshots when they do happen. But I think there's a solution to that. It's basically, parachuting into a popular spot that everybody goes to, so that way there's gunshots all around you, and then after, probably, 20, 30 times you playing it, you kind of get used to it. But I tend to go into the less populated areas, trying to pick up guns and then go from there. And I don't hear close gunshots to me all that often. So then when they do like go off, it just freaks me the heck out, and I'll accidentally press a freaking button, and I'll be like I'll be ducking, and then I'm trying to escape while I'm ducking. I'm just like, this isn't working. So yeah, I'm horrible at PUBG. I'm horrible at Fortnite too, but they're fun. They're fun. All right. Uh, I did not watch this. I want to say it's like a half an hour or something like that, but they announced more stuff on the new Doom Eternal. But I did watch a little quick clip of it where it's like 5 minutes or something where they actually showed it, where they puts on the helmet and then he goes outside and you see all that Lovecraftian type stuff. It looks really really awesome with like the tentacles and stuff. But it looks more it looks good, but it still looks still like Doom. So that's a good thing. So I will be probably buying that, especially with the humor that they had on the quick little video that I saw. But looks awesome. They do have a feature a la Dark Souls where people can invade your game, and then of course you would have to defeat them type of thing. So that might be interesting. I just hope you can actually turn that feature off because I don't like that even in Dark Souls. I kind of wish you could turn it off, mainly because of I play Dark Souls on the computer, and there's been a lot of supposed I don't know, people cheating, and I don't care if somebody cheats. If you cheat, that's great. I'll die. I'll deal with it. But what I don't like is when I heard that there's some people that can actually hit you with their weapon, and due to the hacks that they have on their thing, put something in your inventory, whether it's something small. Somebody said it'll change like even your stat, like move a stat by like 1, or put like a piece of money. I forget what it is. What I haven't played Dark Souls in a while. Put something in your actual inventory. So basically, the servers register your account as hacked, and because you're not taking all the precautions as a hacker, they ban your account essentially. So then you're stuck with a game that you can't play because this game is always online, type of thing. So that's my biggest fear when it comes to stuff like this too. I don't, I just don't trust the whole people invading your game. But anyway, it is what it is. All right, Discord. Discord is actually, I'm not sure how I feel about this. I'm not sure how I feel about all these companies doing this. But Discord has decided they're going to put games in their actual Discord app. So then you can buy games through Discord. Now, I know that they got I think 2 ways of making money that I'm aware of anyway on Discord. They got 2 different things. One's Nitro and there's another thing. But basically you can purchase it and do a monthly subscription type of thing, and you get like a bunch of nifty features, but it helps support Discord. But overall, I'm just like, A, how many people are doing that? And B, how are they really making their money? Because this is a very very large community now. I got Discord groups for just about everything that I could possibly be interested in. I got a couple of D&D groups that I'm a part of. One specifically just for the adventure I'm running, so you can ask questions and stuff just for that specific adventure, not D&D in general, but just that specific adventure. So it's a pretty big thing. So I understand this move. This move is probably so they can make money, but I don't know how many people are going to be doing what you call it, yeah, buying games from Discord. Now it'd be kind of cool if you did do the Nitro thing, if you got so many games like how Amazon Prime is, where they're giving you like a couple games every month now. So it'd be kind of cool if they did that. I'm not sure if they did, but Anyway, it seems pretty cool. Alrighty, what's next? Oh, this is kind of sad, but I'm really kind of confused too all at the same time. Uh, Emuparadise. This was always my one of my go-to websites for ISOs or ROMs. Granted, ROMs not so much because usually it's like, well, we'll just go on a torrent site and then literally download like every game in one big file. Now I'm kind of staying away from that, but it always blew my mind though that Emuparadise has been around for so long, yet nobody's really touched them or bothered to touch them. But anyway, I'm not sure whether they're going down or not, or whether somebody's already picked it up. But they had announced that they are shutting down or had shut down. Now, I just did a quick search because I wanted to get this picture, for example, but I saw that there was the link still on Google when I searched Emuparadise. So then I clicked on it and it's still up. So I'm not sure if it's like a different dot uh, website type thing, domain, but it it's still there. So I don't understand what's going on, but they did say that they are shutting down. Not because that they have been, attacked by Nintendo or anything, because that's the main big thing, but they just are basically getting ahead of the game because they feel like that's most likely the next step is Nintendo's going to come after them. But as far as I know, currently it is still online. So I don't know what's going on with that. But it's going to be sad when they do go, if they do go, or if somebody has decided to take the name and run with it and make their own website, like just basically taking everything and just making their own. All right, more D&D news. Like I said, I was going to bring this back up. This was kind of cool. I know most people probably have seen this if they're actually in the D&D, or maybe even if they're not in the D&D. But Joe Manganiello, I think I pronounced that correctly, uh, is a big D&D fan. In fact, him and Deborah Ann Wall and a couple other people uh, play D&D as a group called Gray Force, and they're all actors and stuff. And of course, you got Matt Mercer, who is a voice actor, but he does the DM for Gray Force. They all kind of do a special thing all occasionally on the actual D&D. Can't remember if it's what they're doing right now, if it's the official Dungeons and Dragons YouTube channel, or if it's the D&D Beyond channel. Uh, they should just combine them, like pick one or the other type of thing, and just like combine them. Because it seems like at first D&D Beyond was official thing, but it was like a company that was working to make this D&D Beyond thing happen. And now it seems like it's actually just conglomerated with this is it's all official type of stuff. So it doesn't even feel like a third party made this service. So I think they should just put it all together. But anyway, Joe Manganiello, who, to be honest with you, I only know him from Dungeons and Dragons. I don't know him as an actor. Uh, he was apparently in Magic Mike. I don't care about watching that movie because I'm a guy. And then they had he was apparently on True Blood. Now I stopped watching. I can't remember when I stopped watching. It was either season 2 or season 3. But yeah, it got too stupid too quick. So basically, I didn't get to see Joe Manganiello in True Blood, but he was apparently in True Blood. But I'll never know. And he was in a couple other things, but yeah, I don't know him for anything but Dungeons and Dragons. So it was kind of interesting though. But he was on Stephen Colbert. I don't know. I don't watch him. Uh, And I'm not sure if this is the way the interview was supposed to go. I imagine it was supposed to be just like a let's just skim on the topic, the fact that he does play in D&D and move on. Well, it got to be a basically a 9-minute interview of both of them talking about Dungeons and Dragons, and he's got a new clothing line called Death Saves, and in 5th edition, Death Saves is a thing where if you get knocked out, then you got to roll to see if you die or not, and you get like three maximum of 3 shots. Uh, but yeah, so he's created a clothing company or clothing apparel company that's called Death Saves, and it's kind of like a mix between like metal and geek culture type of thing. And I'm like, that's cool, but I'm either losing track of stuff or stuff has just gotten really, really expensive. But both of well, he lives out in California, obviously, because he's an actor, and then also Critical Role, all those voice actors, they live out in California. So I'm not sure if that's the deal where they're just used to different prices over there, but I know T-shirts are getting pricier. Uh, but I'm still used to like $15 to $20 for a T-shirt. Uh, Both Critical Role and this Joe's new company for a T-shirt they want $35. That seems to be super high. And I'm like, it's still in the end of the day a T-shirt. And the more I've gotten into camping and stuff, the more I've started wearing synthetic uh, clothing. And what ticks me off is all these T-shirts now are, I shouldn't say now, they always are. They're always 100 like cotton. Maybe some polyester in there, but I'm like, with the way the heat's been and just in general, I like clothing that is light and that breathes. And I'm like, if I'm gonna spend $35, I want a good, like, synthetic, like an Under Armour type shirt. If I'm going to be spending $35 on it, I don't want your typical T-shirt for $35. Now, don't get me wrong, some of the stuff that he has on those T-shirts are kind of cool. Although, if I was probably going to pick one between like a Critical Role shirt or Death Save shirt, I'd probably go with more critical, bleh, critical more, Critical Role more. There we go. She's Zoe. But yeah, overall, I'm like, man, stuff's expensive. And that's what with Critical Role, even with the comic book, it's got 6 issues. I think six issues in their hardbound comic, and you can only get it on the actual. You can get it on Alpha Project if you log into there if you're a member, or you can actually get it on the Geek and Sundry website. I, with it discounted, I believe with it discounting if you're a member of Alpha Project Alpha, they want I believe it's $44. That's discounted. So I imagine it's like 50 or 55 not discounted. So that's pretty ridiculous. I'll spend, especially it's like it's going to be like your little thin uh graphic novels if they make them in hardbound. Like I got some Lock and Key hardbounds. Even those were like 30 some dollars, but they're nice. They got like a little fabric bookmarker in there and all that stuff. This one I don't think does. They did have a special edition that's all leather bound and stuff like that did have that stuff, but they want like $100 for that, but that was sold out pretty quickly. So yeah, overall that the stuff that I want when it comes to the geek stuff, it's really really expensive for what it is. Not saying it's too expensive. I can actually afford that, but for what it is, I feel like it's like too expensive. But that's just me. But anyway, I am going to end it here, and I'm sure we're going to talk more Dungeons and Dragons because this is now, I guess, officially my life for at least a good year until I actually complete this adventure. I definitely want to make my own world though, because I just feel more comfortable and more free, even though I'm not any more free now than in my own world. But I feel with my own world I can be less constricting. Uh, but anyway, if anybody was watching, thank you, and I will upload this Thursday on YouTube and my podcast, uh, audio version of the podcast. Anyway, I'll see you later. Bye.